Good evening. I shall resign the presidency at noon tomorrow.
This is an historic day, the only time a president has ever resigned from office.
Knew about the Watergate cover-up.
The man who has committed the greatest felony in American history will never stand trial.
What was your first reaction when you saw this movie for the first time on screen?
I found the movie to have a lot of energy and excitement. It's kind of like a thriller, you know, or a boxing movie or something. And I was also struck with how fantastic the performances were.
I had an idea for an interview, Richard Nixon.
You're a talk show host.
I spent yesterday watching you interview the Bee Gees. Weren't they terrific? Why would I want to talk to David Frost?
I got $500,000.
Really?
How can one master the art of the simple, which is the most difficult one? Explain us.
Well, first of all, I try never to impose a style or an aesthetic on any film. I try to discover what it is that I think is going to best serve the story, get the ideas across to the audience, and and try to not put myself in the way, but in fact, try to open up the channels.
Frost has hired 3 crack investigators.
Can I be crack one?
Can I be deep crack?
Can I shake his hand?
After everything he's done in this country? Are you kidding me?
I've heard that your father is the 7th cousin, one of the 7th cousin of President Nixon. Did that by any chance affect your choice about participating in this movie?
I didn't hear that until like about a week ago.
Really?
Yeah,
You didn't know that?
Yeah, somebody in an interview, somebody told me that. So I don't even know if it's true.
Oh, pleasure to meet you.
Mr. President. That was devastating. I mean, I don't think he's ever going to get over that.
Frost is just not in your class, sir. You're going to be able to rebuild your reputation. This entire project is a joke.
Even somebody who lived through those events, I had no idea just what was entailed in terms of actually getting this event to the screen. And I only knew about the result. And it turns out that it's a fascinating, funny, emotional, even kind of suspenseful journey. And I think that Peter I really appreciate it. Hey, I got to make the movie, so of course I'm thrilled. I'm glad he discovered this jewel of a story.
I do hope that isn't coming out of your own pocket.
I wish my pockets were that deep. I'm in this for everything I've got.
There's a reason they call him Tricky Dick. Stand by to roll tape.
Do you think that sometimes you need this kind of moments when you are yourself to convey what you really are to the public? Do you think this is a cathartic thing for an actor and a public figure? No.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I think that, I'll tell you what I think is that there are similarities between being a celebrity and movie or rock and roll or whatever it is, and being a politician. I mean, you oftentimes feel that you can use the media to get back in people's favor or to, turn things around, that
Celebrities can sort of get attention. It's almost like if you're standing in a crowd and different people have signs, it's almost like the celebrities are a few inches taller so they can hold their sign up a little higher. But I'm not sure anybody really cares or should care. But in a democracy, it's certainly a celebrity's right to speak up.
The American people need a conviction. I'd like to give Richard Nixon the trial he never had.
There is something that I find interesting in all your movies, Apollo 13, Cinderella Man. There is always the winner, the constant struggle. To what extent do you think it's important in everyday life and in everyday people?
Well, I think that we're all being tested all the time. I think that whatever the style of the story, whether it's a comedy or a fantasy or a drama even inspired by real events, such as Frost Nixon, you're looking at the way those characters are being tested and challenged, and then you're naturally going to compare that with your own life's journey.
We're going to make them choke for power and glory.
Why didn't you burn the tapes?
I didn't want to take any questions on Watergate. Shut it down.
You appear in several lists of the most powerful people in the world. Have you ever felt powerless?
Every day. And it's particularly making films, you feel very, very vulnerable because it's quite an undertaking with a movie, and they take on a life of their own. And sometimes, the dream you have for the film, it's a real struggle to see it realized on film, and it can be very, very humbling sometimes.
If in this interview Nixon exonerates himself, that would be the worst crime of all.
3, 2, cue David.
Are you really saying the president can do something illegal?
I'm saying that when the president does it, that means it's not illegal.
I'm sorry?